listen to this quick clip about Palantir.
With you guys. Well, this is a high-profile win for Palantir. The defense tech startup awarded the U.S. Army's Titan program. This was picked over an industry stalwart, RTX, marking the first time a software company becomes a prime contractor of a big hardware program. Titan, or Tactical Intelligence Targeting Access Node, this is a mobile ground station that accesses data from terrestrial and space sensors. It uses AI to help provide more precise targeting for long-range precision strikes and battlefield planning. Palantir, as Palantir puts it, it's deploying the Army's, quote, first AI-defined vehicle.
The first Army AI-defined vehicle. Great to see here that Palantir has done a great job continuing to secure these large contracts. And we're going to be talking about what could possibly be happening with trading activity over the next week, because we did have the great news, remember last week, from the actual Fed that said that, hey, they are still going to be planning on cutting some interest rates. But we did see Palantir, in terms of price action, popped up into the 27s, and then a little bit of a retreatment at the end of Friday's trading session. We're going to be getting into the details about this contract, Titan, also talking about AIPCon and why some of the Wall Street analysts like Webush right here, Dan Ives, has actually increased their price targets for PLTR to higher numbers than we once thought were possible before. So if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, a lot of you guys already know for PLTR on its actual stock surging from the $178 million U.S. Army contract. This was Titan regarding the clip that we saw at the beginning of the video. Now, why this contract, I believe, is very important is because this is Palantir's fourth largest contract by annual revenue run rate, according to this William Blair analyst right here. And what you did see is when this contract was actually confirmed, we saw Palantir that absolutely launched about another 10% and hit a 52-week year-to-date high at the 2750. We then saw a little bit of a retracement and a retreat at about the 26. That's where we're going to begin in the market. If we toggle over here, NVIDIA kind of had that trading session and that behavior. What we're seeing with these trading patterns right here, a little bit of a pullback in the market, is not necessarily a bad thing due to the fact of the price increase that we've actually seen in Palantir in just the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, Palantir is up here over 72%, and even in the last year, up over 220%. Look at NVIDIA, compare some of those percentages. A little bit of a pullback here is not a bad thing for some of these stocks to cool down slightly before getting that run up. Now, the question is $30 in the near future, or at least testing that resistance point? We do know that Webush right here actually just raised their price targets, boosting the prediction from $30 to $35. We're going to be getting into why this is happening, and especially on the flip side, some investors or analysts are basically flipping and saying, hey, Palantir is becoming a little too highly valued right now. One of the biggest criticisms behind PLTR. If we quickly toggle over here into the options, what we're seeing in terms of end of the week expirations on March 15th is a decent amount of call volume at the $28 strike price. And look at here specifically at the $30 strike price, 24,000 in terms of call volume. Now, we do have a decent amount of puts here. We should not ignore that. But specifically here, a lot of investors, institutional and retail investors combined, are taking a bet that we could see a $30 run up here by the end of the week. Now, what we do see here is a little bit of support that has been held at that $26 level. So pre-market trading will be really interesting. However, this is a micro level of support. We have not been here and have not seen trading activity here at this level for a significant amount of time. So look at resistance on the micro level at that 2750 and short-term support here at that 26. If we continue to see a pull back, this is getting down here possibly into the 23s. We have multiple touch points here at the high 23s. This area could be an area of interest considering that we did have a decent reversal that was triggered here that was before this gap was created and pushed PLTR to that 2750 after the announcement of this big contract right here. Now, getting into this article about Webush and from Investor Place here, talking about how they just raised their price targets on Palantir stock. And this is a good indicator, basically, that the AI boom is continuing and is far from over. Like I said, we had Webush Securities, it's kind of a mouthful to say that, boosted their prediction from $30 per share to $35, despite the volatility that has been happening. Now, why did Webush continue to push their prices higher. And Dan Ives really upgraded PLTR after the recent AIP conference. During Palantir, they actually unveiled new customers, as he stated in a note to investors, is that this is headed towards a key use case and deployment stage, and that its flagship AIP platform and the large increase and actual frequency of customer boot camps is in the sweet spot to really bring monetization to the forefront for PLTR. On top of that, you have monetization, like I said, of these boot camps, but you're also seeing them continuing to secure these large governmental contracts, which help boost their credibility. And also governmental contracts, that was the bread and butter for PLTR before the AIP rolled out and they started getting heavily involved into the private sector. And what we did see with the last quarter results, and especially here looking at earnings, remember, they beat their earnings because a large amount of the revenue that did come in here was from that commercial side. And we even saw with that big 70% number in year-over-year growth that was tremendous across the board at the commercial sector. One thing that's bullish about PLTR, why I think we're continuing to see these price metrics that are still staying high, is because the earnings per share revisions are continuing to be in the bullish direction. You can see here in the last 90 days, there's been 16 earnings per share revisions in the last 90 days that have helped push PLTR to these higher bars that are being set by the Wall Street analysts. However, one of the biggest things that we are seeing with PLTR and the criticisms is not all Wall Street analysts are actually raising their price targets. Just a few. Some of them are actually not just lowering, but changing their position to a sell. The biggest reason right here is the valuation is an F. And if you want to know how you get all this critical data right here, this is on Seeking Alpha. I'm actually an affiliate partner with them. If you want 20% off their premium platform that allows you to get all this really important data on stocks, I utilize it for creating all my content. Check out the affiliate link down below. But with that, valuation, PLTR trades among one of the highest multiples in the software and software as a service, the SaaS industry. However, valuation, in my own opinion, is a great gauge. It's a gauge on what the future expectations for revenue reports and earnings reports are going to be. Right now, everybody is behind this AI demand with a very bullish momentum and presentation. So right now, valuation is going to, in my opinion, continue to stay high. PLTR is always traded at a very high valuation, and it just means it gives it more time to grow into that valuation. It's more of a gauge metric. And right now, a lot of people are very bullish on PLTR, data dispatch included. So where we sit right now, I think a high valuation, it's justified. Palantir in the last 5 quarters has continued to smash their earnings, and everybody's waiting for the S&P 500 inclusion because now they really fit the criteria and they would fit well in there. They've achieved over the 4th quarter of GAAP profitability, now 5 quarter of GAAP profitabilities, and they are still continuing to hit the ground running and predicting even better guidance throughout fiscal year 2024. So I'm about to have for you guys. We're back here at the channel, back for daily videos. If you have any questions, if you want to start a discussion, please leave it down in the comments. Hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. And for the 2 channel members that are on the channel, I can't thank you guys enough for supporting a smaller content creator. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later.